There are plenty of games around the world that have been released every day and play of games in the past around the world that have not been played yet, or people just don't even know these games exist in all matters, you know. So I am Inslayerclone, friendly neighborhood incel, and this video is actually inspired by Synthetic Man's top 10 games you refuse to play, you know. And the reason why I'm actually making this video today actually is because Synthetic Man made the video about top 10 games, and he put human evolution in there, and I really despise human evolution. It's because I don't want to get into it. It's just that I hate the takedown animations, and I don't really like the art style of the game. That's pretty much the core the core basics of my dislike of that game compared to the first two GTA 6 games. But I could probably make that in the future why I don't like human evolution. So this is the top 10 games that you refuse not to play, or you must play before you die, I guess. I don't know. This is the Inslayerclone list, not the freaking Synthetic Man list. But if Synthetic Man is watching this, hope he enjoys the video as well. You know, I'm not a freaking good best YouTuber out there, you know. And I'm a very non-sociable person. So let's get right into this list of video games.
Commander, several Janam battleships have just appeared on radar.
You must protect the flagship at all costs. The flagship is doomed. All ships retreat. Colonel, take the rest of the fleet. Head back to Ankara. The capital will need every ship for freedom.
Septerra Legacy of the Creator is one of probably the most underrated games that I have played. JRPG games that I have played, you know. And quite frankly, much people don't even know this game existed. Of course, it came out in the 90s and stuff. It probably was somewhat popular in the 90s. Actually, I highly doubt that, because it came bundled with actually the other game called monolith game called Shogun Armored Division, you know, and it's both published by Monolith themselves, which are the game developers that actually made Fear. It's such unfortunate that they haven't made any game like Fear to this day. They made Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, and they're probably making a new Wonder Woman game, which is just horrendous, you know. Why do they have to make a Wonder Woman name? I mean, why can't I make them another Fear game or another Shogun Armored Division game, you know? Anyway, this game is 50 hours long. That's approximately. I haven't finished the game myself. I'm still probably in the 10-hour mark, 5-hour mark of this game. And the 5 hours that I've been playing about this game, I've really enjoyed it. Just like any other JRPG or any RPG Maker game out there, if you played one RPG Maker, pretty much played them all. But anyway, any like JRPG game, you have like your three characters, three main ones. You got your main character that's you're never gonna change, and you got two side characters. When I first started playing this game, I was kind of struggling. I won't say struggling per se, but I was kind of confused because you know, like in other games, RPG Maker games or JRPG, whatever, yeah, you just click the attack button. Actually, you have to wait until the cooling bar, the red cooling bar, goes up to the full mark or halfway mark to actually attack. So it's kind of like a real-time JRPG type game. So it's kind of like maybe not like The Witcher per se, but pretty much, you know, it's kind of like when you wait long enough, your enemy attacks. So if you decide to push your red bar to the maximum, the enemies will attack you. So if you wait, let's just say you get to halfway mark, you can attack your enemy. Don't attack, your enemies will attack you, pretty much. And also there are cards in this game, so these are like cards like you see with special attacks that uses the power core I think that's what they call it in this game. It's a power cell, whatever. I think that's what they call it. Pretty much use these cards to take out the enemy. So let's just say you want to use the cards and stuff. Use the water card that would like maybe weaken the enemy, or the rock card which will drop a bunch of boulders onto one of the enemies. I don't really know the names of the cards, guys, forgive me, you know, but yeah, this is pretty much it, you know, and I've really been enjoying the story and stuff, you know. So the story is that you play as the character called Maya, and she is on the first shell core in this core world, which is like a that's what it's called. It's a core, right? That's what the game's called, Septerra core. And pretty much these core worlds are kind of like in, you know, how would you call it, like Halo instead of like the Halo ring? Everyone lives on these like cores, right? Maya is this character which is like a junkie, what's what they call her. She lives in Shell 2, not Shell 1. I was kind of wrong on that. Shell 1 is actually the Chosen, which are like the gods of this game. I don't know what you couldn't call them. I guess they're gods. They're like the what would you call them? Supermans, whatever. I don't know, freaking godlike creatures in this game. So godlike entities, I guess. That's why they're called the Chosen, you know. So yeah, Shell 2s are like junkies. They are like scavengers, like you see in the freaking, like you see in like in Tatooine, you know, in Star Wars and stuff. And that's where our main protagonist Maya lives. You know, she's actually an orphan in this game. So, and I won't get in more on the story. That's pretty much what you need to know. And you know, I definitely recommend play this game. Play it for yourself, you know. Or you watch a let's play of it, which is actually not much let's plays of this game on YouTube, which is kind of shocking because, like I said, this is a pretty good fun game. No one actually plays this game anymore, and I think, you know, it needs that internet clout once again. And maybe if they do a remake, they could freaking make a Final Fantasy 7 type remake of this game, which highly doubt that will be happening because that takes a lot of time and energy. And yep, but I definitely think this game should deserve a second chance, and I think people should definitely play this game, and they should just give a second chance and stuff, you know. I definitely won't be disappointed about this game. The only thing I would say if you play this game is that the combat is definitely slower than Final Fantasy 7, and the reason for this is because, like I said, the cooldown, the red bar system is kind of slow. I don't know what they'll think. I don't know, and this is a major complaint of this game at the time anyway, but there's actually mods to fix that. I think I myself haven't downloaded any mods for this game, and this game was actually kind of hard to actually stream or something, or run, whatever. I tried to play it on stream, I tried to stuff, it didn't really work, so, you know. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I can't really say anything else. If you're looking for a good JRPG, fake JRPG, because this is not a Japanese game, it's actually a Western game, so, but it's a fake style anime game, like what do you call it? This is definitely the game for you, I guess, so. Resistance Fallen on Man is definitely one of those games that, you know, that came out on PS3 at launch day, and people played it for fun because there was nothing else to play. And once other games like Call of Duty 4 came out, all those other games like Call of Duty 4 and maybe Killzone 2, whatever, most people just forgot about this game. But this game is definitely a way ahead of its time when it comes to like the AI, you know. The AI is fantastic in this game, you know. I mean, the freaking Chimera is hides behind walls, and also the Chimera, there's many different variants of the Chimera, and there's a lot of weapons to choose from, just like in the Ratchet and Clank games, you know. I mean, I believe, you know, the first person mode in Ratchet and Clank 2 Common Commander and Up Your Arsenal were just a test product of what games they wanted to make in the future. Because if you guys played the Ratchet and Clank 2, there was actually if you go in some place you can actually play the game in first person. See, and in Ratchet and Clank 3 there was a fully integrated first person mode in Ratchet and Clank 3. They could play the entire game in first person also. So that was just the benchmark for the game they wanted to make next, and this is where you got Resistance Fall of Man, Resistance Fall of Man is set in Britain in 1953 when Europe was invaded by the Chimera in Russia, because if you guys know the story, there was no communist revolution in Russia that happened. So, and some science shit was going on, and the Chimera was kind of created, and they invaded Europe, and then England was like the last stand, and they took over England. So, well, Britain particularly, not just England, but yeah, they took over, and the Americans came in and invaded, Britain. Well, they didn't really invade Britain, they came in Britain's support to help push back the Chimera in Britain. So I myself, what I like about this game, I really like the aesthetic of this game. This is before the colourful aesthetic. This game was brown and grey, which I actually like. I don't like freaking games with colours, I like brown and grey games like Call of Duty World at War and Fear, and what other game, Resident Evil 4 and stuff, and many other games that are brown and grey, like Gears of War and Doom, Dead Space as well, and it's very fun experience, it's a very fun game. Everyone should play it, and I have really nothing else to say about this game. The weapons are great, the bullseye is great, the freaking warbang gun, I can't remember what its name is, and the freaking grenade launcher gun, not a grenade launcher gun, the M5A2 Forsman carbine, which is like US military gun, which was actually made because, like I said, there was no World War II that happened. So it's kind of actually fun to see what happened if World War II didn't happen. You see different types of variants of guns that we probably would have seen. And resistance games, there wasn't no AK-47 because as you know, World War II didn't happen. So so we don't have an AK-47 in this game. We don't have a Mark 5A2. So yeah, that's all we really got to say about this game. Go and play it. It's on the PS3. I don't know if it's on PS5 or PS4, whatever. I highly doubt it, because they don't have backwards capability, because they want to remake old games so they can sell you a higher price tag. But if you have a PS3, which I do actually have a PS3, and yeah, you should just go and play it. I in fact play all the Resistance games, even Resistance 2, which is definitely the most weakest version of the Resistance games, because it's played more like Halo than the other two games, but still go and play all these games. Definitely fun experience. You will have a blast playing these games. So
knocked off balance, the Allies are becoming desperate to enter Germany. In spite of our successes, they have managed to move forward and are already on our border. The West Wall, or as the Allies call it, the Siegfried Line, will stop them here. While they spend their energy trying to get through it, we'll mass our reserves to strike back. Hold the line against all attacks. They cannot be allowed into the fatherland.
Order of War is a PC game, or on the PC of course, that you can play as the Americans or the Germans campaign. But you can play as both campaign, and it's a real-time RTS game. I know most people don't really like real-time RTSs because, well, it takes a lot of brain power and a lot of strategy to play these games. However, instead, I really actually did enjoy this game when I did play it. I didn't finish the campaign of the German campaign because, like I said, I don't really I do play games, but I don't finish them. I play them, get them to like the end, and I don't finish them. However, I did actually play the skirmish mode. You know, when you defend like the freaking hill or something from other tanks and stuff like that. The reason why I actually like this game because you get to play as the Germans, which a lot of World War II games you don't play as the Germans for a while, because it's controversial and stuff. However, I do like the fact that you can play as the Germans. You don't even play as the Soviets in this game. You can play as the Germans, you can play as the Americans, but you can't play as the Soviets, which is, I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know what was the reason for that, but yeah, you don't play as the Soviets, you play as the Germans and stuff. And I really like the German campaign, especially in the East, in the Eastern Wars, because like I said, most of us don't really know what happened in the East. We only know in the Western War, in World War II, in the Western Front. We don't really know much about the Eastern Front or the Eastern War, whatever. When it came to 1944 German status, because this is when Germany was starting to lose the resources, supplies and the war front, you know. Not only that, you get to play as the Scarf or the real Supergun or the Behemoth. You know, there's a lot of names for this game, but name for that weapon. But yeah, you get to use it in this game, which is pretty cool, you know. So yeah, this game is definitely a very underrated game. It's actually on Steam. It has mixed reviews for some reason. I don't know what was people's reasoning for giving this game mixed reviews. But I do understand sometimes the camera can be slow. It's kind of hard to navigate the camera, you know. I do understand, maybe that's why it got mixed reviews, I don't know, but I don't think this game deserves mixed reviews. I think it's a fantastic real-time strategy game. I don't know what people are thinking. Maybe maybe it was some other popular game in the past, in 2009, maybe Total War, Napoleon or something, that was maybe more fun to play than this game, so they just gave it a worse review than this game. So, and using your troopers at your advantage, such as like the artillery guys, what they call them, is it Moab, not Moab, the freaking mortar guys and stuff, having everything placed rightly, the anti-tank guns, you need to have these places, everything. I like to place anti-tank guns on where tanks can roll up. When the tanks roll up, they freaking just get obliterated, you know. However, I would say this game is relatively easy. It's not a hard RTS game to get into, you know. It's actually one of the most easier ones out there, so it's not much of a hard skill gap, but it's definitely fun to play, and you won't get bored of this game. I guarantee it.
Poor dear. After all these years, maybe that old rabbit will bring her around.
American McVie Alice is one of those games that you probably might have heard of from like a reviewer and stuff, but you haven't played it yourself. And I don't know why you're not playing this game. If you really like platforming games, this game is for you. If you like first person boomer shooters games like Doom, this game is for you. If you like freaking story driven games about depression, this game is for you. Yeah, so this game was actually an inverted version of Alice in Wonderland. If you probably guys know the books of Alice in Wonderland, I'm actually not really into Alice in Wonderland. I can't really remember everything about Alice in Wonderland. All I know, the girl falls asleep and is in some Wonderland that runs after a rabbit, you know. But this is a darker version of that tone, and pretty much you're out fighting a bunch of card men, fighting a bunch of freaking flying beast, but yeah, flying beast, whatever, and you're trying to figure out what is wrong with you know. And I really like the intro of this game. It's a very, very dark intro I like, where Alice's parents die in a house fire and she's in a mental asylum. I really like that stuff because, you know, I think it's a great start to the game, you know. As they would say, as the modern term would say, subvert expectations and how stories are being driven, you know. And I really just think this game is a fantastic game. The art style is great, the gameplay is great, you know, and there's a lot of different weapons. So there's like the knife, you know. The knife is kind of like, you know, your weapon of choice if you want to spare matter, I think that's what they call it. But if you don't want to spare if you want to save matter and stuff, but if you want to use a matter, you're probably going to be using the freaking cards a lot and the freaking landmines, you know, which is like those like boxes and stuff. That's pretty fair, I think. It's quite a long time I've played this game now, so forgive me for not knowing all the weapons and all the features of this game. And one thing we have to recognize about this game, the music is fantastic. Probably one of the best musics I've heard in a video game. Maybe not one of the best musics, but it's definitely something that represents all the levels in this game. My favourite music is definitely the freaking swamp level, you know, the Valley of Tears, I think that's what the level is called. And I really like the music, you know, it just captures the mood. So definitely go and play this game, and quite frankly, I'm not trying to sell you should do this, but since you can't really get the game anywhere, so it's kind of abandonware now, so you can pretty much get it for abandonware. So, and the developer of this game doesn't really care because they don't want to even make a new third installment of the game. They actually was making a third installment of this game, but EA struck it down. So the developer said, you know what, if people want to play my game, but EA doesn't want to sell it, let them play it. So, you know, by the way, I'm not saying you should do that, but the developer says it's okay to do it. If that's what you want to do, go ahead, you know. But yeah, I mean, just go and play this game. You just have to go and play it for yourself and get to the end. And the story as well is very unpredictable if you really think about it. And it's just a great story and stuff. I think most people will be surprised at the end of the story, so.
Of this place?
A gate. Looks like we've still got a ways to go.
We're going through.
Code Vein is a masterpiece. Full stop. Well, from my perspective. So the reason why I put Code Vein on this, because, well, it is somewhat a popular game now. It's getting becoming a popular game, but it kind of reminds me of Demon Souls, one of my favourite Souls games of all time, as you guys know. I've said this many times before. Demon Souls is my favourite Souls games of all time, and it has a lot of similarities to Demon Souls. In fact, the actually home base you live in is pretty much the nexus in Demon Souls. Well, technically I guess it borrows a lot of stuff from Dark Souls 2 as well, and Bloodborne, which I haven't played Bloodborne myself yet because I don't have a PS4. But I completely disagree with people that saying this game is just an anime weeb Souls, waifu Souls, whatever. It's definitely not that. It's definitely more than that, you know. The character creation is probably one of the best character creations after Saints Row games to have, you know. I mean, you can spend like at least hours making a character. Both men and women. I mean, most people would probably play with the female characters because they have more options compared to the male characters, but yeah, you can spend hours just choosing your character's look and design, you know. Just play this game, you won't regret it. And a lot of people have recommended this game towards they didn't regret playing this game, so just go and play it for yourself and you probably are going to enjoy this game, believe me. Creeper World 4. So I know most people probably haven't even heard this game. Well, probably you guys have seen a YouTuber play it. Some crazy like, you know, oh I need to defend this like blue water thing from destroying my freaking walls and stuff like that, destroying my freaking collectors and all that, and my turrets and stuff. But this game has a lot of strategy towards it, and I know it doesn't look like it, but it does have a lot of strategy, especially playing the custom maps and the really miniature maps. You know, you can spend hours just taking one part of the freaking creeper and trying to expand and take territory. And it might seem boring, but I guarantee you, once you get into this game, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it and stuff. And I know, like I said, it's not for everyone, but I decided to put this game on the list because, well, it is one of those esoteric games that a lot of people see on YouTube but haven't played it themselves, and I recommend people play it themselves because they'll have a lot of time playing this game, you know. There's nothing really I can say about this game, but pretty much what your whole purpose of this game is trying to stop the creeper from destroying your base and taking over the entire map. That's pretty much the whole purpose of this game. There's not much purpose of anything to do with story or anything. The creeper just wants to take over the map. You have to use your intelligence to use the turrets and the mortars and the airstrikes to destroy the creeper and put it and take it out, pretty much. Supreme Ruler Ultimate. Supreme Ruler Ultimate is one of those games that, quite frankly, don't get the recognition that it does get. In fact, this is actually my first game before playing Holy 4 Hearts of Iron 4s, which is a very popular real-time strategy game on YouTube that a lot of people actually play, mod, and look at different scenarios of Germany or Russia or Japan or America, whatever freaking country. I actually like to play as the weak countries so I can actually gain more skills and intelligence instead of playing like with Germany, because you know we all know the big guys, you know, the big dogs like Russia, Germany and France, whatever. They're very easy to play as, you know. Playing as the small weak countries is the one thing you want to do in these so-called grand strategy games, grand real-time strategy games. That's what they call it. Just remembered the word. But what makes Supreme Ruler Ultimate good is that you can not only play as from World War II, but you can also play as modern day games, modern conflicts, such as like you know 2020 with Donald Trump. I think that's the last time when I checked this game, he was playing as Donald Trump. Trump Rising DLC, where you can actually play as ISIS as well. So this game is definitely a fantastic game. If you don't like real grand time strategy games, if you never played them, I probably wouldn't recommend this game. But if you are a Hearts of Iron 4 fan, you should definitely check this game out, you know. the entire Star Wars Jedi Knight series. So I actually didn't know which game to put on. Should I put the Dark Forces and Minds of the Sith games, Jedi Knight 1, or should I put Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Academy? I didn't know, so I decided, you know what, you should just play all of them. For the sole reason these games still hold up in 2023 when it comes to lightsaber combat. Yes, Dark Forces 2 and Mind of the Sith have a bit more basic lightsaber combat with their swinging motions, but they're still, in my personal opinion, far superior than Fallen Order when it comes to lightsaber combat. In fact, you can even chop people's arms off. You can even have disassemblement in these games, which Fallen Order doesn't have disassemblement. You can have to mod it in Fallen Order. But if you only want to use want to play as lightsaber combat, you should definitely only play Star Wars Jedi Academy, which is the superior one when it comes to lightsaber combat. Jedi Knight 2 is also a good game as well when it comes to lightsaber combat, and you can actually play as first person as well. So there's definitely a thing for everyone for this game, for these games. I mean, and I don't know why you guys haven't played them. I don't see any people playing these games anymore, which is unfortunate because this were the core values of what a Star Wars game should be. A Star Wars Jedi Knight game should be, you know, a game focused on Jedi abilities and Jedi fighting. It should be like this. It shouldn't be you having multiple different lightsabers that have multiple strike patterns like you see in Fallen Order, maybe not Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, I mean, where you have this big lightsaber that does like a super attack, and this weak lightsaber that does like small attacks. That's not how lightsabers work. Lightsabers are a beam. One slice, you're dead. That's pretty much how a lightsaber works, you know, and that's how this game works. You chop a guy down, he's dead. You know, it's not like, you know, I hit one guy with a freaking weak lightsaber. His body doesn't get chopped up into pieces. You know, that's how the lightsabers in this game work. And like I said, the boss battles in this game, the Jedi Knight fighting, are fantastic. The sole reason why these boss battles or duels, whatever, are good because it doesn't show how much health the boss has. You have to figure out how much health the boss it has. When he use your lightsaber to cut the boss or any enemy, in fact, that's solely on you. It's not dynamic where like a Dark Souls boss like Fallen Order is trying to be and Jedi Survivors do. It's all instinct based. That's how these games work. They're all instant based. They're not about figuring about the patterns of what the boss does. The AI just jumps in the air. It jumps in the air. If the AI wants to freaking use the lightning strike, it uses the lightning strike. If the AI wants to choke you, it chokes you. You know, there's no like, you know, oh, the AI is gonna, this boss does this technique, so I must use this technique to kill this boss. No, it's all instant based. That's how all the Jedis, the Siths, and all act, you know, all the AI acts.
He works alone, his hands defiling the bodies of the dead in his thirst for knowledge and power. His name is Adam Crowley, a man who was once respected in the field of science until fate led him along another path towards black magic. Now he is in possession of the mythical Lost Diary of Samuel Pepys, a volume that contains the detestable rituals of the demon-worshipping Brotherhood of Hecate. Soon, he will complete his work. Tonight, as the sun sets on London one last time, he will unleash his demonic brood onto the streets. And should no one stop him, this city will be consumed by a horde of nightmare creatures.
Nightmare Creatures is one of those undercover PS1 gems that everyone has to play. I myself, I actually found this game by the YouTuber Murder, whatever, that's her name. She actually did a Let's Play back in 2010, and I once subscribed to her channel and went back to her channel when she used to do Let's Plays of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and she was playing this game and said it was free and stuff, so I just, well, I guess I tried it out myself and I wasn't surprised, not disappointed. I was actually overly surprised how good this game is, right? In this game you'll be dying so many times, you will die a lot in this game, and there will be a timer. If you don't hit any of the enemies, you will die also, you lose health, so you have to constantly be looking for enemies to kill, so it is a game that you need to be on your feet all the time, you can't be sitting around and doing absolutely nothing. You have to be running about in this game. So, and the one thing I really dislike about this game though is the platforming. The platform is just one of the worst that I've used in any game I've played so far in my life. The platform is definitely terrible. It's not the strongest asset, but I can overlook that because every other part of the game is fantastic. This is what I imagine Bloodborne would look like if it was on the PS1, and it definitely has that like Bloodborne aesthetic. Well, Bloodborne never existed in the 90s, so, but it has that Bloodborne aesthetic. You have a gun, you got a sword, and you got a bunch of freaking creatures that want to kill you. So, and yeah, the bosses in this game, some of them are good and some of them are kind of rubbish. I guess the snake boss is definitely not the best boss in this game, but apart from that, you should play this game. It's a must play game. Recommend it all around. So, before I mention number one, which is going to surprise a lot of people, well, I won't say it would surprise a lot of people. It doesn't surprise me because I know this should be a number one spot. I want to mention some honorable mentions, like Synthetic Man's video, you mentioned a bunch of honorable mention games. Some of these games I haven't played yet, so, but I will be playing them in the future if I have time, so it's not like Clone hasn't played many of some of these games, but I will play them, maybe not now, but I'll play them in the future,
Shut up, bitch! I'll blow your goddamn.
Freeze! Police! Drop your weapons now! Welcome.
This rap party, anyone, wait here.
Robert, no!
Urban Chaos is a GTA game on the PS1 pretty much. It's GTA before GTA even became a thing. So you're pretty much in New York City as an undercover cop trying to fight crime and stuff. And you can drive cars, you can platform buildings, and you can do whatever you can do pretty much in GTA, And it's very unfortunate this game never got the sales and the recognitions that it got in the past. You know, I don't know why it didn't get all the sales and the recognitions in the past, but this is definitely like one of those games that was probably really just overshadowed by the other games in the 90s, or maybe just people just didn't pay attention to this game. You know, this game is actually running on the Tomb Raider engine. You know, the games that powered the Tomb Raider games, it's actually running on the same engine, so that's the reason why there's a lot of platforming in this game. And it just really looks like a fun game to play. And if you want to experience like pretty much GTA 3 in the 90s, here he is, you know, Urban Chaos.
You've been a very naughty boy, Blade.
Bad enough to kill you, bitch.
Oh, what should I do with you, Blade? Perhaps I'll lobotomize you and keep you as a pet. That would be amusing, don't you think?
I don't think you're gonna do squat, lady. In case you hadn't noticed, I have the gun. After all the shit you put me through, you're crazy to think you're gonna walk out of here alive.
Sin is a game that, quite frankly, was overshadowed by Half-Life, and it is a fun game to play. It's actually a very revolutionary game also, because it actually have a lot of the action elements that you see now implemented as in modern games. You know, you got the gun torrent missions, you have like crazy people walking about, not crazy people walking about, people with pistols and stuff. It's just a lot of action in these games. Like, got freaking people coming from buildings, doing ambushes and stuff, and the gameplay is just fun altogether. The villain of this game is kind of like an hentai character, which I don't really mind that, I guess, but it is pretty funny. She likes to turn people into wolves and werewolves and mutants and stuff, whatever. And that's pretty much her entire goal, is to take over the world, turn everyone into mutants. I think it's werewolves. Is it werewolves or mutants? I don't really remember, but I think it's mutants and stuff. The story is not really like that important. It's all about shooting a bunch of people with a shotgun and mowing down people with machine guns, and looking for key cards and shooting more people with machine guns. If you like that type of games, you're definitely going to enjoy this, just like in Half-Life. And actually the character actually speaks compared to like Half-Life, because these back then most first person shooter characters don't speak. They only but he gives one liners like Duke Nukem Forever. Not Duke Nukem Forever, just Duke Nukem. So
fearful, demoralized, and unable to regroup, the populace of Therion fell quickly before the dreaded march of Eidolon's vile gallows. Machinations created for only one purpose: destruction. The attack was skillfully executed, and all 4 continents had fallen by midday. Nothing was spared, and no one was safe from the merciless onslaught. It was a sad time for our once noble world, and many were forced into hiding to avoid death. Now Therion huddles in fear. Eidolon sits gloating and untouched in his dark tower, with Therion in the grip of the Dark Generals. Famine, pestilence, war, death. They must all be defeated. Who will step forward and bring the reign of Eidolon to an end? Only time will tell.
Hexen 2 is an hardest game that you'll ever play, in my personal opinion. Well, on the PC anyway. So Hexen 2, I haven't even finished this game. I'm stuck in the first level of this game, but it's pretty hard. If you like Doom, you're gonna enjoy this game. If you like Quake, you're gonna enjoy this game, right? And you have to read everything in this game. You have to read the transcript. You have to look for everything. So even one miss of detail, you pretty much failed the game, you know. But yeah, it's one of those games that you have to just constantly be looking, constantly reading, constantly looking for each detail, you know. And like I said, this game is pretty hard as well, you know. Even on the easy mode, it's pretty hard, you know. But I have nothing else to say about this game. Go and play it, you know. It's one of those 90s games that you would definitely enjoy. If you want to compare it to anything, it's definitely Dark Souls for first person shooters. So I guess that's all I gotta say about this game. I will say this about FromSoft. FromSoft knows how to make good games, and this game, at exception, is probably the best and the hardest FromSoft game of all time. Well, maybe not the hardest FromSoft game of all time, but when it comes from like the Slow's Bloodborne era, Souls-like games, this is definitely, wouldn't say it's the hardest out of all the FromSoft games. I could be wrong. Maybe you guys can leave a comment in the description, whatever. Oh, this game is the hardest FromSoft game of all time, you know. But reason why I say Shadow Tower is the hardest FromSoft game of all time, because you have no maps. You have to recognize the entire plot of this game, not the plot of the game, the locations. So you need to memorize everything. Everything is dark, and the only sounds you're gonna hear is your footsteps in the tower, in all the freaking dungeons and stuff. And you're gonna have some skeletons trying to stab you in the back, and all these other creatures that want to kill you and stuff. And the reason why I love this game so much, because it is actually what Demon's Souls was on PS1. Actually, what Demon's Souls is. In fact, I wouldn't say this game is actually a remake. This game is actually what Demon's Souls remake is about. Everything you see in Demon's Souls is in this game. The freaking magic ladies, you know, the freaking water world, which is pretty much the swamp level in Demon's Souls and stuff. The dragons also in this game, and the freaking knight guy with the freaking sword is also in this game as well. And a lot of people themselves say this game is just, you know, Kingsfield or, you know, and stuff. So they just over exaggerate the game, not over exaggerate the game. They just don't look at this game as, oh, it's just another Kingsfield game. Which I completely disagree. This is not another Kingsfield game. In fact, I would say Shadow Tower 1 is far better than the Shadow Tower Abyss. Because in Shadow Tower Abyss you have a gun, right? This game you don't have guns, it's just you and a sword. And magic, I guess, you know. words can't really describe this game. You're just gonna have to play it for yourself, I guess. And once you finish playing it, you do a review on it. Well, you don't have to do a review, but you just play it for yourself, I guess. I don't really know what else I could say about it. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed my list of games. Make sure you subscribe, and hopefully Savannah Man's watching this video. I highly doubt it because he's a big YouTuber, and quite frankly, you know, he's probably got other things to do and stuff. But if you do enjoy this list of games that I've listed that you refuse not to play, or before you need to die, you should play these games. Go and play these games. Right, and there's plenty of other games I could have put on the list, such as, well, I don't need to mention them. Maybe I'll make a second list next year on games that you should be playing. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it and subscribe.